Good evening, everyone. This is Christian Karasevich, and you are watching this week's episode of Social Chatter. We're bringing on Nick Richwain here, my co-host. He'll be joining us in a second.
Hello.
What's going on, Nick? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
I'm going to push this live on Facebook here.
Okay. Let me go over to Social Chefs on Facebook. Good morning or good evening, everyone. I know it's been a quick turnover. I'm going to chat here for a few minutes while Christian is pushing us over to Facebook Live. And it's a quick turnover this week, so we have just a couple of stories, 2 or 3 stories for you and 2 or 3 tools. It's early in the week, so we haven't really had a chance to see what news comes from social media. And I anticipate Tuesday and Wednesday to be big days just because they seem to always be big days. And this week we are doing our show before that. Okay. Always be big days. Let's see if we have anybody in here with us. Q&A. Have anybody in here? I get thrown off when I see previous shows where you're talking and I'm like, wait, is that what Christian's wearing right now or not? When I'm looking for the video.
Let's see. So there you go. We are live. So we're also live over on Facebook.com/social chefs. And, as Nick mentioned here, we've got a few topics today, a few social media related ones. And then, we might just, we might leave this open, as an open-ended show this week. Remember, we always also add to the show. So it's not just like the topics we cover. We also add additional pieces of social media news that we come across. So feel free to, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and also check out the blog. So welcome to Social Chatter. What do we got this week, Nick? By the way, I don't know if you happen to have that link, the last link you shared with me. I don't know if you want to drop that in the our Evernote file.
I will. I'm just 1 second. I'm getting a bad feedback here. I thought I had silenced my Facebook feed, but I had opened it up to share it on our page, and so I was getting some bad feedback. I will. Do you want me to post that link when we post it when we get to that conversational topic?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I don't know what order you want to do it. You want to do that one first?
I just was going by the. I was going to do that one last since it wasn't on the Evernote.
Okay. No, that sounds great. So we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about. Now let's start off with the first topic, I guess, and then we'll move into the other ones we've talked about. So topic number 1, actually, for today. By the way, Melissa, really good to see you. Thanks a lot for taking the time to jump in. We appreciate having you here and all the valuable feedback that you share.
Yeah, she was taking the kids to see Santa, so she made it. I told her it was probably going to be a short show tonight because we just have a couple of topics.
Yeah. And again, I mean, if you guys like seeing a lot of topics, great. If you like seeing just a couple, like let us know. I mean, we're happy to adjust the show. We try to we try to keep it within 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes things go over.
Yeah.
So, we know your time is valuable. So topic one, actually, that I'm going to bring up here is Facebook's new targeting expansion that they've added. And this is for anybody who's running Facebook ads. And I don't know if you've had a chance to check this out, Nick, but it's pretty cool, actually. Basically, what's going to do is it's going to give Facebook the option to expand your target audience if they think doing so will get you better results.
It sounds great, doesn't it? I mean,
I think here's the thing. I think it's going to be one of those things that people are going to want to experiment with. Try running maybe like an ad with, so basically what this is going to let you do is it will allow us, meaning Facebook, to adjust your interest-based targeting. So the kind you choose in the detailed targeting section of ad set creations.
Right.
To reach more people who may get you more and or cheaper results, but wouldn't otherwise have been in your target audience.
Okay.
So this is from a business perspective. This is fantastic. If you're a business and you're over there trying to run Facebook ads and you're not getting the results, or you're getting a really limited audience, you can test basically. It's a form of automation basically when you're running your Facebook ads to allow Facebook to automatically expand those interests for you. So
excellent.
I love the idea of this. I mean.
Are those interests going to be related to the interests that you choose initially?
Basically, okay. So they don't include, for instance, people that are marked for exclusion and expanded target audiences. They only expand the targeting when they think it will help you get better results.
Okay.
If they don't think it'll help, they don't expand the targeting. And there's not a way to check if your targeting was expanded or not. That's a key thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like that's something that they'll need to fix going forward if they can't tell you whether or not it was expanded, because I think you're going to want to know, all right, if it was expanded, who was it expanded to, and did that benefit us?
And that would be good to know that information, because as a business, if I'm over there as a business and I'm over there learning about this feature and I'm seeing like, okay, if Facebook made some sort of like automatic adjustment, I want to know what those adjustments were. And the reason why is because I want to know how my Facebook ads like performed with that adjustment.
Right.
And then two, the other thing that's important is it says specifically, we don't currently offer a specific reporting metric on how effective an expanded target audience is compared to a non-expanded one. However, it says you can, of course, compare the results you got before using this feature to those you got after you started using it to get an idea of its effectiveness. It's a matter of just checking the box within your Facebook Ads Manager.
Okay.
Good, very good feature, at least in my opinion.
But I think it'll need some refinement.
I 100% agree with you. I think it needs a fair amount of refinement, actually. So that is the first topic for today, actually.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this. I think that it's a good move by Facebook, but again, you are going to have a lot of people, especially business owners. They're going to want that information because they're going to want to know, well, hey, what am I doing that's working? What's not working? And
what did they do for me that may have worked for me so that I can choose to do that the next time around?
Absolutely. I love the idea of people learning from what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that they're going to want to check out. So
excellent. What do you have up next for us?
So up next, we have Pinterest, a Pinterest feature. We don't talk a lot about Pinterest, but every so often. And this is a new feature. They're called Pinterest. It's a Pinterest showcase. So it's a rotating showcase that sits to the right at the top of your profile. So it's the first thing that people will see. And let me get the link for everyone here, actually.
Yeah, I'll share that over on Facebook.
The exact name of this thing. It's called a rotating showcase. Yeah, they call it a rotating showcase.
Okay.
And there's actually a link to that for everyone. Pretty neat. Are you a big Pinterest user or not so much? Or
Very rarely do I use it.
yeah, so very rarely using Pinterest. But basically, what's going to happen here is when customers visit you on Pinterest, you can greet them with a hand-picked showcase of the best ideas you have to offer.
Okay.
This is, in a sense, let's just say this: it's basically storytelling.
And is this going to lead to some sort of purchasing through Pinterest?
So what this is going to basically do at the moment is it's going to help you build up your audience for starters.
Okay.
It's going to sit to the top right of your profile, so it's the first thing people see, and then you get to decide how you introduce yourself. So basically, like I said, how you're shaping the story about your business. It's pretty neat. So basically, when you're on the web, you can, according to Pinterest, you can choose up to 5 of your boards to feature.
Okay.
You have, as you mentioned, talk about shopping. If you have buyable pins to share, you can also have the option to highlight them in the first shop slot.
Okay.
And then update your showcase, obviously, as you want certain things to be highlighted.
Excellent.
Pretty cool. And then, so the other thing is the board you showcase, the cover images you choose for each board, they look the same if somebody's on the desktop as well as on mobile. So it's the same design.
All right.
And it'll sit to the right of your stack, basically on Pinterest on the mobile app. Yeah.
What companies are best served by using Pinterest?
It's going to go back to the ones we've always talked about. Basically, it's going to be your retailers.
Okay.
There's quite a number of examples you can check out. There's Burberry, for instance. You've got Swanson Broth. We've got Lowe's Home Improvement. We've got Monogram. They have this new feature. I'll actually put the link here for Swanson Broth.
Okay, and we're getting a comment from Melissa here on Huzza. She said she was trying to comment on Facebook, but said on the ads on the Facebook thing, she said they're really personalized to the things you're geared towards, finding it pretty crazy. So that expansion for or expanded targeting may really improve on that. So these are based on things that she already is looking at, and that's how they refine what to show her in the first place. And so for the business, I guess they're going to go ahead and take that and make it even more specific, or not more specific, but more general. Maybe if Melissa likes it, then so and so will like it, and so forth, and expand your audience as a business.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Which is
so
good.
And by the way, I put another couple of examples in there. I looked at the Swanson one, really fantastic. I like the way that one actually looks. I think it looks great, actually.
Okay.
I think it represents the brand extremely well. They start off with one that says, like, for instance, if it's Swanson Broth, why I cook. They have one called, because a recipe never gets old.
And Pinterest is in large part used by foodies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So It's a good place if you're a food blogger or a restaurant or something like that. Probably be a good place for you to.
Yeah, and the other thing I think that's also really important to note about this is if you're designing any sort of images for Pinterest from your blog, you're going to want to make sure you have really strong visuals and that you have potentially text over top of your images. For instance, if you go to the Swanson Broth one, you'll look through this and you'll see, for instance, there's a board called Tasty Christmas Celebrations. And then there's an image that says why I cook to get on the nice list. And then you see the next one, which is a one-pot recipes image that doesn't have any sort of text over top of it. It's just an image. So I like the idea of seeing a little bit of text over top of it.
Yeah.
But you are going to want to vary that from board to board probably, or at least have a different design for each one.
It tells more of the story if you can add some text.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think about these? Have you had a chance to check them out?
No, I have not.
Yeah, check out those examples that we just posted. I mean, they're fantastic.
Where did you? Oh, there they are.
Let me grab the other one that I had here. I'm gonna grab the Monogram one as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. This looks good.
And there's the monogram one. The monogram one's pretty neat too. Um,
Where are you posting that? I'm not seeing it on Huzza.
I put it in. It's in Huzza in the chat window.
Really? Last thing I have in chat on Huzza is Melissa's comment.
Huh? There should be two after that.
No, I haven't seen either of those.
Huh?
Maybe it'll catch up, unless it was. Sometimes if they're too long, if the link is too long, Huzza won't pick it up.
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, you know what? Well, if those don't work, let me know. Yeah, it's probably a timing thing or something. But yeah, so that's topic number 2 actually for the week. Really cool features, I think, for a business. You know, and also for Pinterest, you're also going to get they've added tabs, your boards, and your pins. Pins you liked are now only visible to you. And then on mobile, your showcase will now appear in the spot formerly occupied by your most recent pins. So this is basically pushing people to say, hey, you know what? If you want to build any sort of presence on Pinterest, you need to be using these features to really, you know, show what your profile is going to look like to people to attract them, you know, to your account and follow you.
Excellent.
So what's the third topic we have for tonight? By the way, did you happen to grab that link? I don't know if you could put it in the
Yes,
chat.
I've got it. I'll put the link in the chat. Hopefully it's not too long, or hopefully you guys get it. Maybe Melissa got the links you shared, but I did not.
Huh.
So let's see if you guys get the one I share.
Yeah, I get this one. NBC. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let me post it over here in Facebook. Okay. So social media ad spending is going to outweigh print revenue by 2020. This was interesting to me because I couldn't believe that print revenue was not, although it didn't, this is social media specific and not digital spending. I'm assuming digital spending as a whole is outweighing print media, but social media ad spending to outweigh print revenue by 2020. So the rapid expansion of social media platforms on mobile devices, as well as faster internet connectivity and more sophisticated technology, has triggered a huge shift in the way many people get their news. Advertising agency, this ad agency, Zenith Optimedia, predicts global advertising expenditure on social media will account for 20% of all internet advertising in 2019. Hitting $50 billion and coming in just 1% smaller than newspaper ads. And by 2020, so social media ads by 2019, $50 billion.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I'm surprised at how quickly, you know, it says what they said behind newspapers. How many?
Just by 2019, it'll just be 1% behind newspaper ads. And by 2020, it's going to overtake it. I'm a little surprised that people are still spending that kind of money on newspaper ads, but I guess, you know, I'm not in New York where the New York Times is probably still getting a premium on their print advertisements, and San Francisco Chronicle probably still gets a pretty solid premium. So I just can't believe that there are some people who are still advertising in print.
And because I can't really, I mean, I guess I picked up some ads from like Black Friday or something, you know, just to kind of look through them. But aside from that, I mean, I don't really find myself reading the newspaper. A lot of times the stuff I see in the newspaper it's outdated, outdated to the point where, you know, the newspaper is writing about things that have already been shared on the net. That, you know, at that point, I really don't have a need to pick it up and read it.
You know, interesting side note to that is, as you were aware, today my phone was broken and in the shop getting repaired, and I went next door to get something to eat while it was getting repaired, or at least for part of the time it was getting repaired, because I thought I might get it back rather quickly. And and while I grabbed the newspaper while I was sitting down to have lunch because I needed to have something to do. Normally I'm reading the news on my phone. And, you know, every article that I saw in the newspaper, I had basically already read. I don't, you know, it didn't give me much value. There isn't much added value that I couldn't have already gotten. So it surprises me actually that social media ads are not overtaking newspaper ads or print ads at this point. I was a little shocked by that number. For it's a big number, and I thought we were a little closer.
Yeah, I think that from a newspaper standpoint, I mean, who wants? I don't find myself reading those things. I mean, and my time is, I think, more valuable than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not certainly if I'm I don't mind reading a newspaper. There's some tactile pleasure out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on vacation or if I haven't seen the news in a few days, then I don't mind reading it. But it's not so much that I'll read it then for the articles, but I'm never looking at the ads. I'm
Yeah.
never going through the ads in a newspaper. Or I can show you in my office. I should probably take a picture of this to share.
Mm-hmm.
I get legal publications on an almost daily basis, and
Mm-hmm.
they just are filling up space on the counter behind my desk.
Yeah. So basically, you end up with piles of paper, and then at some point, you're like, "Hey, I need to go through these," and you
And
really
get rid
don't
of
take the
them.
time to do it.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not. I rarely get. I am waiting for one publication to show up because Nicole Abood, our friend who shows up on our show here once in a while, her blog
Yeah.
is getting featured in the ABA Journal for what
Oh,
her
nice.
podcast is getting featured for top 100 law blogs, and it's a podcast, but it's
Nice.
being featured. So I'm waiting for that issue, right? But that's because I know actually know two people who are being featured in that. So of course I want to see that one, share it, look through it to see if there's others that I may know. But then I get 10 or 15 other publications a month, maybe 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never looking at the ads. And I tell this to my members, stop paying for print advertisement. I can show
Yeah.
you the entire mountain of publications behind my desk that aren't getting
Mm-hmm.
read, and you're paying a big premium for print advertisements.
And I'm surprised at this because I mean, you can create PDF versions of the magazine, for instance, or whatever form of print media you're working with.
Yep,
You can easily do that, but then at the same time, you can also like you can make those interactive to where I don't have to you can still have your ads in there. I don't have to have the physically printed out item.
that's right. You can make the digital version of your, and I do see some of the ABA journals. It's not the ABA journal themselves, although they might have it, but some of the attorney magazines are starting to do this. And I don't know why more aren't using this.
Yeah.
Because
By the way, so one other thing I thought that was really interesting about these stats as well, they're talking about social media usage among American youth as well. And, I realize it's 2014, 2015, but when you look at some of the data that's in this chart, LinkedIn has very, very little, we're talking 7% at this point. This is 2015 of social media usage among American youth age 12 to 24.
yeah,
WhatsApp had a big jump. Pinterest had a little bit of a jump. Google Plus dropped. Vine was neck and neck basically, which we know what happened to Vine. Twitter was a little less for 2015, which we know that probably has dropped. Snapchat
right.
was higher. Instagram was a little bit higher, and Facebook was a little bit lower at that point. But so it's fascinating. I mean, to see just the growth of all of this.
Yeah, and if you look at 2015 numbers, Snapchat and Instagram are practically neck and neck.
And then, by the way, absolutely. And then what's even more interesting is when you look at the same chart here. So you look at social media uses among American youth,
right?
And then chart on U.S. adults getting news from social media. Facebook 44%,
which
surprised me. YouTube number 2 at 10%.
Interesting, and Twitter 3, and I consume all my news on Twitter.
Yeah.
So
it's really fascinating. I mean, I would say Facebook definitely, but it's so fascinating to see YouTube up there.
Yeah, that is interesting. I agree. But you know what YouTube has done, and I watched it happen in the election. One of the places that YouTube had really crushed it during the election is live video feeds at rallies.
Yeah.
So if you're considering that as news, then they were probably that may be one of those things where they're doing really well as far as news. And there may be news shows that I'm not watching on YouTube that could also account for some of that.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, we have social chatter here. I mean, we do social media news and trends and tools, you know, and that goes up on YouTube. So I guess it comes down to how you're presenting that news.
That's right. And as we know, the news is going to be changing rapidly because CNN just picked up Casey Neistat and the Beame app team because they're trying to stay relevant and have some of these YouTubers now producing content for their own show.
Yeah, which is, you know, which in my opinion is really fascinating to see them do this. To pull in some of these people, but they need, you know, they should have that in their, you know, in their however many employees they have. But you know, I guess they need to bring in, you know, a YouTuber to kind of show them how it's done. It's really not that complicated, I guess. So
yeah. Well, should we get to tools?
Absolutely. Let's get to tools. So tool number 1 for today. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, just let us know. Tool number 1, we have Thrive. And this is another app for basically, so this is available for iOS, for Android. What it is it's a small business app. And it's got some really cool features. So it's got the ability to track retail sales, profitability, your social media channels, user reviews from different sites. So you can see basically what kind of sales am I doing on a daily basis? What's my profit? You can see your sales trends. So which days happen to be doing the best. You can compare your social media performance. Are certain posts performing better than other ones? What times were they posted? And then you can also log events that impact your business. And so the great thing about this is that, 1, it's a free app. And then 2, it lets you do all this stuff from one location. So you don't have to go to all these different apps and manage these channels.
Right.
It's kind of almost like combining it with the app we talked about last week, the Quick Wins app. Because you basically can, you know, you can do certain things that impact your business. And in this case, you can see everything that's going on in your business. You get a terrific snapshot of that. So
excellent.
That's tool number 1. So tool number 2. Yeah.
I posted it over on Facebook. Sorry, the dog's making noise.
No worries. So tool number 2 that we have for today is called Bettr. And you know, you've probably seen this. We talked a lot about Instagram the last few weeks. Got a lot of little Instagram apps.
Yeah, they've got a lot of I think this just goes to show you how, if people are building this many apps for an already existing app, it shows the power of that app.
Yeah, and you know, it's a scheduler, so that's part of it. But it also has, for instance, the ability to edit photos. You can add captions and hashtags directly in this app, and then add a time, and then they do the rest. So basically, when you put all your information in there, they're gonna schedule it out for you, which is nice. A lot of the apps for Instagram, they don't send the stuff for you. They basically send you a notification that says, "Hey, it's time to post your stuff."
Time to post your stuff, right?
So, so this is, you know, in this case, this is a good app. You know, good app to check out. It's a free app or a freemium app, I guess.
Freemium, okay.
You know,
which many of the ones that we cover are. And it makes sense. At some point, you got to make some money on what you're doing.
And a lot of apps are moving towards freemium apps. It's one of those things that kind of bothers me a little bit because some of these companies, they're over here making apps, and then they have a great model going, and then all of a sudden they decide to change it. They're like, hey, let me make this instead of being a pay once app, we're going to make it a freemium app. So then you stop getting all the updates, and then it just becomes another subscription.
Right. So. And there is some subscription burnout going on, isn't there?
Absolutely. I personally think so. I mean, everything is becoming subscription.
Right. And I'll say it here. I use Spotify, but I just refuse to subscribe to it because it's like, this is just one more subscription. And if you don't go back and check your subscriptions on occasion, you're just losing money. Yep,
absolutely. And I mean, I actually subscribe to Spotify, but I do that because I like to be able to take stuff on the plane, when I travel and whatnot.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But I'm not on the plane very often, and I can usually turn on what I like. I'm in front of the computer screen so often that I'll just put on a playlist on YouTube in one of my open tabs, and that solves the problem for me.
Definitely, and that's a great point about just subscription burnout. I mean, it definitely is happening because everybody's going to the same model. They're saying, hey,
We got to monetize.
Yeah, and understandably, you have to monetize, but there are different ways to monetize. I mean, you can do ads.
That's right.
And if you have a good enough app, people are going to use it. People are going to click on it. People are going to tell their friends. But
every time I get to an app and it's like, it's just for $5 a month, and I'm like, oh, that's not a big deal. But you get 3 or 4 or 5 of those going, and all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, I'm wasting a lot of money, and how much am I really using these?
Absolutely. I like to look at it like this. I like to assess what I'm going to, what tools do I need for my business, which ones are crucial, and then which ones can I kind of just live without. And I would actually challenge you, see if you can live without, take an app that you're paying for on a subscription that you're not entirely sure you need. Cancel your subscription. Try to go 30 days without that app, and see if you actually need it, because bottom line is you really may not.
May not. Okay. And what's our last tool for the night?
So our last tool is called Nembol, Nembol.
Not to be confused with the other Nembol, which is Nimble.
Absolutely. And this is a very, very, very cool app. This is a free app. Again, there's probably some sort of monetization on the back end of this. But it's not like, oh, I get it for free and then I have to pay for it. What this app does is it lets you publish products on multiple websites, social media channels, point of sale systems, and so forth simultaneously. And this is a real time saver. If you have a lot of physical products you're looking to sell to get the word out there. If you were to go, for instance, and have to list this on all these different websites. So, for example, if you wanted to put it up on Amazon, on Etsy, on Shopify, on eBay, on Twitter, just to name a few, you would have to go create individual listings for every single one. Now, what you do with this basically is you fill out the fields for your product. You then decide, you basically with a single tap can publish to all these different areas. And then, if you have a barcode, for instance, on your item, you can scan that and that'll import all your stuff. So awesome. Super quick way for you to sell stuff, whatever it is with your business. And if you don't have a barcode, it's easy. Get a barcode for your products. This way it's easy to just scan and you get the inventory and it pulls up all the information that you need right there.
Excellent. So that's good for if you're a big seller on Amazon, eBay, Etsy. This is a great tool for you.
Fantastic tool, actually. And, it's one of those things also where, I'll give you an example here. Let's say I want to go list an item. Let's say, let's use something simple. Let's say I'm cleaning out my house. It doesn't really matter. I could be cleaning out my house and I'm like, hey, I've got this printer here that I want to get rid of. Instead of me just, obviously the thing is I can just give it to, a donation or something like that to like Goodwill or somebody. But what I could do is I could conceivably put this item up on Amazon and eBay at the same time. I scan the item, I get all the, the data about the item. I put it into, Amazon and eBay, and I'm able to hit multiple audiences there. I'm not trying to I'm not putting up on Amazon saying, oh, let me give this 3 weeks. Let me do it all at once and see what sells.
Right.
So it's a fantastic tool for that. It takes less than 20 seconds, and it works with Amazon, it works with Etsy, Store Envy, Shopify, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Vend, point of sale systems, and a whole bunch of other ones. So
excellent.
Cool. And you can also import your listings too.
Very cool. Yeah, that's it. I don't spend a lot of time doing that, but this tool sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, when I came across this, I was like, I'm like, this is a really good business tool.
Because, yeah, this is.
It's about. Do what?
This is good. This is a good one.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, if I'm a business and I'm looking to save time, I mean, it can take you a long time to enter that product inventory in.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, from the start, and you start at the top, you have like your barcode and whatnot. You put all your stuff there, and then you can easily push that out to all these other channels at once. So
Very cool.
Yeah, I'd recommend checking that out. The only thing I would caution you on, something like this is, just pay attention to if that company, in this case, they don't collect any money from you per se.
Right.
But you may want to check out to see if they do anything as far as collecting credit card processing fees and that sort of thing.
Or they may take a little bit of transaction.
Right. Yeah, they may do that. I didn't see that listed, but they may do that.
So, all right.
Definitely check that out. I don't have anything else for today. Do you have anything?
I do not. I'm going to post the link on Facebook for the next show.
Awesome. Yeah. So I actually have next week's show ready. I think that'll work for you.
Next week we'll be back on Thursday.
Absolutely. I think it's the 15th, right?
Yeah. I believe so. See, today. Yeah, I think that's right.
It's crazy. The 15th. We're already into like the middle of December. Wow. So that's what we got for you tonight as far as social media. I think we got some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I think there's good stuff for a 4-day turnaround. And Melissa has a nice compliment for you there that you've got a great voice for radio.
It's funny. I have a lot of people tell me that.
That's awesome.
A lot of people on my YouTube channel are like, "Hey, do you do like radio?" And I was like, "No, I just get on video and
It's
talk."
a nice compliment. Yeah, that's if podcasting became as easy as live video is, I might go over there.
Yeah.
Or if I had
I do have
more staff, if I had a staff that could put the stuff together, I would put it over there. But there's just not enough time in the day.
So I think I have an app actually while we're talking about that. I know we're going to wrap up here, but let me see. Let's see if this is the link for it. So if you're looking for a podcasting app, Nick, I would check out Fareet. Fareet Recording Studio, actually. I think I actually mentioned this on a previous episode of Social Chatter. But it's a really neat little app. You can put it on your phone, and you can basically create all your different layers if you do happen to want to get into podcasting.
Okay.
So it's pretty basically pulling all your different layers. So like your intro, your recording, you might have some B-roll, your wrap up, and you could put all that stuff right there into the app. And you can actually do it from the mobile device, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Excellent.
So,
Fareet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is, it's a free app, but it also has a few, like you can buy lots of additional tracks and automation features and that sort of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Excellent.
So let me see. What else do we have? Let's see. Anything else for tonight? Anybody?
Nothing more for me tonight. It was a 4-day quick turnaround, so a lot of the news. Probably there will be more social media news tomorrow.
Absolutely. And just a couple of quick points for everyone. If you want to get this, will be available in a blog post and a YouTube video. So if you want to get that, just go here and go to socialchefs.com/subscribe. And what we'll do is we'll send you a daily email. In this case, it'll have all the links, the things that we're going to talk about for the next show. And that's basically it,
And I think it looks like Melissa has a recommendation for a tool next time. Picture-tastic. Picture-tastic.
So what does that do, by the way? I will check this out. Actually, just message us and we'll take a look at putting it in the next week's show. So awesome. Do you have anything else, Nick?
Nothing more for me.
I hear you're going on vacation.
I am. I'm going to Tahoe Wednesday night after work, so I am looking forward to a few days off. It's going to be cold. Probably not like the cold that you experience regularly, but pretty cool.
I think, yeah, we'll see. I can't wait to, I'll follow along on your adventures. You're going to be putting that up on Twitter or Facebook or?
Probably mostly Snapchat stuff.
Okay. Very cool. I'll make sure I check that out.
All right.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
that's a wrap with this week's show, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. You can
Bye, guys.
You can find us at Social Chefs on Twitter, Social Chefs on Facebook, and at CK Rocks for Christian, and at experts.com VP for me. I guess we forgot to say that when we
No worries. We'll put all of these in here to get everyone over there. There we go. Very cool.
All right.
Well, have a great evening. Thanks a lot for this quick episode for tonight. I really appreciate that.
Thanks all who joined. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. We had Tara and Melissa and Brent over on Facebook tonight.
Very cool.
And Teresa.
Good audience.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you all next Thursday
Thursday
at 9 p.m.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.